And we're live!
Hey!
Yo!
Hello, everybody. Episode 5.
Whew.
Fucking hell, it's
I
relentless,
thought they'd
isn't it?
catch us, but no, we're here. We're here, baby.
Welcome to episode 5 of the NN Social with me, Josh Astrop, and Andy Convey.
Yeah! You did it!
Yes. And Nick Gray.
Yeah!
Now that's it. I've peaked already. I can't do better than guessing which side you're on.
It's only taken 5 weeks, mate, but you've done it. You've absolutely done
Well,
it.
what can I say? I'm a quick learner. How have you been, Andy? How have you been this week?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Not really a massive deal to report. I was talking to you off the air saying how, again, boredom is my only problem at the minute. So my life is good if boredom's my only worry at the minute. But to solve that, I actually did engage my brain a little bit yesterday and not just watched telly like I have been doing. So one thing I did was I shaved my head, as everyone can see. Can we get some claps in the chat for my bald head? Yeah. So the worst part was when people say it doesn't look any different. So that's a good thing, I guess. But the other thing was I did a Open University course. They've put up some free courses on their website as everyone is having to work from home or furloughed. So I had a look. There's loads on there, so if anyone's interested, there's a bunch of Open University courses, and I did one on supply chain stability, which I know is very boring, but it's kind of related to what I do. So yeah, it was interesting, and it made me feel like I'd actually done some work yesterday, so it was quite nice. So I'm thinking maybe once a week dipping in and trying to find something like that to keep the noggin turning.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And then obviously when you go back to work, you're going to have so many more skills.
Exactly, yeah. I'll sound like I know what I'm talking about as opposed to just sort of, fumbling my way through it.
Yeah. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good, yeah. Again, not really much change for me. I'm still working every day. The only thing that I've done different this week is starting that god-awful couch to 5K thing.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now.
I'll be honest,
it's going all right.
I thought you were joking when you put that up. I thought you were like taking the mick out of everyone. So It's good to hear you are actually doing it.
That was a real face of anguish when I posted that the other day. Yeah.
Well,
it's good fun. It's good fun. I felt really good afterwards. I've done 2 of the first week or so, and then it'll be Friday. I'll be doing the next one.
Sick, man. I did a run this morning, and it was the worst run I've ever done because I nearly pooed myself as an adult man. And it happened at the point where I was like halfway between home and the start. So even if I'd run backwards, it was still the same distance. So anyone in the Kingsthorpe area, like 10:30 this morning, if you saw me running like this, I'm really sorry, but that's what it was. Basically.
With your legs together.
Yeah, never happened. I had my worst pace time, everything, because you can actually see where it hit as well on my app. Like, so the pace suddenly like rockets down.
The screen turned brown.
Oh god, yeah, horrible.
You hit the wall. You hit the brown wall.
Thankfully, I didn't, but I was close.
Okay. It's about that time of the week where we get our outsourced instrumentalist accent on the mentalist.
Number 1.
So the theme tune for this week. Here we go. Claps in the chat for that, please. Claps in the chat.
Oh my god!
What a genius!
Oh my god! I think that's his best one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. He excelled himself this week.
Yeah, it's just the high energy injection that we need.
Mm.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'll
And who that
carry
man
us.
is, we'll never know.
Never met him. Don't know who he is.
Don't know.
He
Got
was
him
just
on that
waiting in the waiting
Fiverr
room.
thing. Yeah, freelance app. Pay him $5 a week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about we speak to our first guest?
Yeah,
You did forget
crack
one.
straight
Well,
into it.
we forgot one thing.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, beers. What are you drinking, Andy?
I'm drinking one I talked about last week. I saved it for this week, which is Kona Honolulu Island IPA, which is their sort of fruity one. So it's passion fruit, orange, and guava.
Oh, tremendous.
Could barely
Nick.
see it
taste
through the foliage.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my other thing. I got jealous of Josh's background plant, so you guys might notice that I have some foliage here in the background. Except it's not in the background. It's this teeny tiny pot plant that I've placed to make it look like I've got some epic plant to the side, but no, it's a little thing of lettuce that I'm growing. So yeah,
And there goes the illusion.
Sorry to ruin your illusion, everyone. So yeah. Ow.
No. Okay, Nick, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking one of my favourite beers ever. I did a beer garage order, which got delivered about an hour ago,
Excellent.
just in time for this live stream. It is, see if I can get it on there. There you go. It's wild beer Pogo. Interestingly, it is also containing passion fruit, orange, and guava. Like,
oh, hello, little theme. I wonder if they taste the same. We've actually got, weirdly,
yeah, I have some.
We've got another, nearly almost what we're drinking. Tim Astrop in the chat. I think he's a relative. Northern Monk Raspberry Passion Fruit and Guava Sour IPA is what we got drinking.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a Juice Springsteen. So anyone else out there, hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you're drinking.
Yes,
Josh,
Aaron,
what's
I've
your
also got one of
beverage?
those.
Mine is it's a nice cold, ice cold Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Okay.
Any spirit?
No, I was thinking about lying then, but I didn't because I got my regular weekly meal delivery, but that disappears at the weekend. But I did place an order with Beer Garage, like you two guys. I placed that about 2 or 3 hours ago, so I imagine that'll be with me in the next couple of days. But I promise to have a beer for next week. All right, I just can't help myself. You know, beer in the fridge has got to be drank. It goes off after a few days, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to try and drink for you then, Josh, because I've got all 6 of mine from the Beer Garage, and I'll try and drink them all.
I do have a backup one. I also have a backup one ready. So yeah, sorry.
What are you doing to me?
Is that from the same brewery as the Juice Springsteen one?
It is
the Alphabet Brewing Company.
No, it's Wild Weather.
Ah.
This is a King Street Pale, so I'll hit that one up later. The problem is they've got this really nice looking burger on the picture, which just makes me instantly hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, that's another
Maybe
thing.
it tastes like burgers.
Imagine it, a burger IPA. Josh, in privately, you need to tell me your address because I will drive around and just drop some beers off at your house.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I've
got this Beer Garage delivery coming the next day or two. So
yeah. It's not a flopper. It's just a scheduling conflict.
Well, what I'm going to do,
I'm just an alcoholic.
I'm going to drop them round before the show so that I know for a fact you've got one ready.
I think this is called enabling. Or bullying. Yeah.
Possibly. That's not no, I mean it in a good way. I don't mean it in a bullying way. Take my fucking beer.
Just drink it. Right, enough of that. Let's talk to our first guest. You may know him from one of his bands, Acoda.
No, it's coming on later.
Josh.
Have I screwed up? Sorry, I was thinking about Jake as well then. Oh, he was in Acoda as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but you got the guests the wrong way around.
No, but I mean, both the guests were in Acoda, weren't they?
No. Who is our guest?
All this alcohol.
Yeah.
There's a
Or
clue.
lack thereof.
Yeah, I know. I haven't forgotten who it is.
Oh,
I
okay.
I just forgot the order. Okay, it's Steve Peel from Yellow Bourbon Coffee Roasters.
Worst introduction ever.
I'm so
Claps in the
sorry,
chat for
Steve.
Steve, please.
No,
Steve, you
I've
deserve-
got stuff lined up about the heady days of my time in Acoda.
You deserve.
Yeah, well, I'm
You deserve so much better than that.
They kicked you out.
I've got I wanted to join in the bit. I've got this one look from Mull.
Yes.
Oh,
Laurel Love, one of those. They're new and in a posh bottle. I've got a backup here because I thought it'd be unprofessional to get up and refill myself halfway through. And this one is the venerable Lucky IPA
Yeah, very good.
from Mull. So yeah, I'm all set. I'm all ready to go. Chin,
Nice.
chin.
I love their branding.
Excellent.
I love Mull's branding.
chin,
It's so
chin,
cool.
indeed.
Yeah,
Don't
cheers,
well.
cheers.
Yeah.
But you've been at work every day, haven't you, Steve?
Yeah, that's all going on. So, yeah, I've just got the regular same old minutiae that everyone else has. The same, yeah. Just well, I've got my mate come back. That's nice. My mate came back to work yesterday.
Right.
And I've been there all on me Jack Jones the whole time. So we've had just about enough work to. Well, I've been really busy with it, and now we've got enough that. As we've fallen foul of the furlough business and all of that, then he can come back in anyway. So he's just going to come and work for his money. So that's all right, and that helps me out and helps him out, and yeah, a bit less stress and a bit of company. So yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all going
Very
well.
nice.
Well, I think if it wasn't for beer deliveries, coffee deliveries, a lot of people who aren't at work and people who are working as well, but it would be extra fucked in this current situation. So yeah, I'm glad you're still working.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to call. I still feel fairly trivial in my pursuit. But it's a nice, a little bit of luxury. Yeah, obviously stay indoors, don't it?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean in terms of like essential services and things, but you know, doing things that you enjoy keeps you happy, doesn't it? Which is important. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. It's all right. So yeah, having a bit of company in the place helps. What else has been? Well, I had a day off today. Today has been, my wife had to go to work today. She's a teacher. She's a proper key worker. She's had to go in and take care of some kids and all of that. So I had to go take care of my own kids. Yeah.
Shock a bit. What?
I should set all the work for them to do all schoolwork. I was going to be the teacher for the day, and then the weather came nice and we went and played football. So it's been a different one for me today, actually living a bit of this home life.
Yeah, we got a bit of PE though in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got a bit of that, and they did the Wicks thing as well.
Did you join in?
I joined in. I was like, I'm going to go and have a shower. You crack on with that.
Yeah, my sister was telling me about. I've got two older sisters with kids, so I really feel for them at the minute because they're having to like juggle. Well, one of my sisters having to juggle work because she is still working and everything like that. But I was saying, oh, how's it all going and stuff? And they said, yeah, good. You know, we're trying to keep the balance of teaching and fun and stuff. But she told me that a woman that she knows from my nephew's school has been making her daughter dress in her school uniform from whatever the time they do the lessons. And I was like, that seems a bit extreme to me, but I guess, you know, she's trying to keep a bit of routine so everyone eats to their own, really. But yeah, that's the first time I'd heard of that, definitely.
You got to do it how you do it, haven't you? That it sounds a bit like point scoring, that though, don't it? Well, mine have been dressing in full uniform.
Maybe she's the head of the PTA or something.
Yeah, that'll be the one. Yeah. Should be one of the ones I tried desperately to ignore at school gate. That one.
Yeah. I rarely wore school uniform when I was at school.
You rebel.
I wasn't naked. I was just, you know, I had about 1,000 ties that I just.
Yeah, that was that dream you had. That's a bit of anxiety creeping in.
I once had I went to school in the middle of nowhere, Guilsborough, so it had a really low truancy rate because you couldn't go anywhere, so you couldn't like bunk off and go into town or anything. But during study leave, they'd let us go to the shop that was in the village. Like that was the one time you could leave school. And I remember a bunch of us went down there, and this guy came out. I was in the shop, and this man came out of the shop and went to all my mates, "Be careful, boys. There's a man inside dressed in a school uniform. I think he's trying to lure kids away." And they were like, "No, it's just our mate Andy." And I came out like eating a Malteser ice cream, and he was like, "You're a kid?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, right, sorry." Like he thought I was some old pervert, like trying to lure kids away.
Was this like year 7?
No, yeah, well, yeah, might as well have been. I finally look my age now, but for a long time I've looked very old. You know, very.
You had a
very old.
full beard at like 11.
Yeah, I think I shaved at like 14. That was the first time I shaved.
Shit.
You've had a beard ever since I've known you, so it'd be really hard to imagine you without a beard. Oh,
I do.
I don't need
I
to
do have
imagine
my-
anymore.
I do have my school photo, which I can go and get a bit later and flash
yes,
it up.
please.
It's very in between us. Very in
Are
between.
you a hirsute man in general, Andy? Would it be fair to say?
I'd rather that's a bit personal right now.
Well, you think I've had those sideburns ever since I could grow them, and that was probably 13, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Super out.
As soon as I could grow a beard, I grew one.
Then I've just gone with it. But I've found that having that from an early age, and it seems like the growth of hair in general has kind of had a head start and gone with it.
See, mine's gone the opposite way. This is great. This is slowly thin. Nick remembers when a guy that Nick works with, that I used to work with, the first time I shaved my head, and he's really sincere. He didn't. It's like you think he's taking the mick, but he's not. When I went in with my shaved head, he said, "Oh, it looks really good, mate." And I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "What'd you get? Like a 1 on the top and a 3 on the sides?" And I was like, "No, because that would be insane. It's just because I'm going bald on top." And he was like, "Oh, right." But he was totally sincere. I thought that's my choice. Anyway,
It's a good style.
yeah.
No, it could catch on.
The Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about. I was thinking about beer, obviously, and Mall is still open, aren't they, Steve? Is that right?
You can buy beer from them one way or another. I mean, they wanted some wholesale coffee, so I popped some wholesale coffee round and came out of there with some beer. So that's worked out all right.
So it's just a couple of bags of coffee and then you get a beer.
Oh no, it was all completely above board and a correct and proper financial transaction, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were. I don't know how you go about getting it. I haven't done it through official channels.
It's through their website.
You can,
I mean, they're just like yourself, a good example of like a local business that's sort of adapted and changed the way like that location in town is primarily a bar that sells their beer as well as other people's stuff. But now they've basically turned it into like the production line, much like you have for Yellow Bourbon.
Yeah, there's a lot of places. Well, people who are able to, people who have, they're not just offering like a sit-in service or whatever. Anyone who's offering like a takeaway sort of a tangible product, and if they're able to, they're like us, just turning over their kind of service area and everything like that, just all making do with however they can just to get into full production and just to keep any income that you can going, really. Because I spoke to a few people, and some people just seem to be kind of rolling over in despondency with the whole thing, and then there's others who are like, well, we can still do something, so we jolly well should, really. And I think that's the way you've got to go about it, really. If there is some way to make any shred of income whatsoever, then you've got to go for it, haven't you? I mean, I went in there and saw them guys canning beer in the front of the pub, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly the same as what we're doing. And they're like, yeah, well, just make the best of it, do what you can, and people still want your product. We're still able to offer it. It's not ideal. This is not the business we set up to do, but do what you can, isn't it?
Should we? Yeah. Sorry, I just realised. Should we say for anyone watching who maybe doesn't know what you do, Steve? I think that's probably because we're all big fans of you. But if you just want to give us a little rundown of the business for anyone who
yeah, it's I run Yellow Bourbon Coffee Roasters in Angel Street, just off the Guildhall Road, where we roast coffee. And first and foremost, we like selling cups of it to people who come and sit in the place and have a chat. But at the moment, that's not possible. So yeah, so it's all gone on the mail order side of things. So yeah, we produce coffee beans and ground coffee for you to use at home as a grocery item. So that is 100% of our focus now. There it is. Look, Aiden's there by the man with the grey 3 sides. The postage thing is a bit of a shit fight at the moment. That's called a bit of a limiting factor. Yeah, answering 27 emails a day. Where's me parcel got to? And everyone's ordering stuff, ain't they? So so if you want to come to the shop, basically, anyone who's watching who wants to buy some coffee, just come and knock on the door. I'm there all the time. It'll probably be a bit too loud, but there's a phone number on the website. I'm going to do it like that. I think just come to the shop and I'll throw some coffee at you. There you go.
Yeah. When are you going to be in? Are you just Monday to Friday?
Yeah, Monday to Friday, about 9 till 4 generally. I mean, it's all a bit up in the air at the moment how it is, but yeah, generally 9 till 4 Monday to Friday. I might start taking Wednesdays off now. I've got my mate in. That'll be nice. I'll start. But yeah, that's going to be all good.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know what I was going to say. To change the subject entirely, I sat last night and I watched The Deer Hunter last night for the first time. I'd never seen that before. That was harrowing. I stayed up too late watching that, so it was already thick end of 1 o'clock by the time that finished, and then I just had to watch something cheerful after that. It was. I was rocked by the whole thing. It was one of those where I'm glad I've seen that. That's been an experience. I'm not in no hurry to repeat it. And then so then it was just some comedy stuff on YouTube. So I've not been able to absorb all this culture, same as everybody else.
I like that your first go into you know what? I'm going to absorb some culture. The Deer Hunt.
Exactly. It's a 3-hour film.
What a start.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's a bit like Requiem for a Dream for me. I watched it once. I was like, that's a great film. I'm never going to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because I felt so horrible afterwards. It's harrowing. Have you seen that, Andy?
I never have. My best friend, it's one of his favourite films, and I always take the mick out of him. But it's like a bit of an inside joke. But I always mean to watch it, so it's one on the list.
Definitely worth watching, but only once.
I just got that that Lettered Box app or that thing. I don't know if anyone's seen that, where it's like a social media platform, but you can list films you've seen and share them with friends, and then they can write reviews and stuff. So it's quite nice to kind of see people who I know on there and what they've watched, and kind of then you can tick off what you've seen and stuff. So I've pulled a few little gems out of that, but I guess we can talk about that in the recommendations section, I guess.
Yeah. A friend of mine's on his Instagram feed is doing I think it's the top 100 albums you should listen to before you die. I can't remember what publication it was in, probably like The Guardian or something like that. But yeah, he's listening to 4 records a day and posting it on his Instagram feed. I think that's a great idea.
That's really
there's loads of really world-renowned records that you'd never get around to listening to. Now's the time to do it.
I've been making an effort at that in the shop as well, being on with Jack Jones and not having to worry about stuff being customer friendly and all the rest of it. And making a point to listen to some stuff that I hadn't heard before. It's been nice actually. Got the stereo all set up nice up there. It's nice having the customers, but sometimes it's nice not having them. It's it gets you indulged a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. It's listening to, if you're listening to seminal albums or just music that you haven't really listened to before, if you're working and dealing with customers that are coming and going as well, you're just not going to hear any of it, are you?
No,
you're just not going
to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. You what?
It's just background music then, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's have something that is not background music by any stretch of the imagination.
What a great link.
Oh, thanks.
Nice, mate. Very nice.
Oh. Don't commentate on it while I'm doing it.
Sorry. That's why you're the professional one, and me and Nick are just amateur hour,
We'll praise you in the debrief.
You've interrupted my flow.
Sorry, mate.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Damon Tang.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, man?
I don't want to clap myself. That's weird. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you all?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, mate.
Awesome.
Can we just get a comment on in the chat about how delicious Damon sounds with that lovely microphone?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I've been having some rave reviews. Mainly just tonight since we did sound check. Jake, or the mysterious theme tuner, has been messaging me behind the scenes as well, saying that it sounds great.
I'll be honest, mate. It's like you already have a very smooth voice anyway. Like I've always thought about when I've spoken to you, but somehow you've made it smoother. I'm not sure what you've done, but I appreciate it.
Well, Tommy
says creamy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no idea. It is as simple as I plugged the mic into my Focusrite Scarlett interface, and here we are.
Damn.
So I haven't spoken to you since all of this mad shit happened. So how's things changed for you, or have they not changed much at all?
No, they've changed pretty drastically. I mean, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm on furlough, so I'm just sat at home, getting paid 80%.
Yeah.
You'd think that it'd be good for a creative, right? Like you'd write some music or do something interesting. I've been playing video games pretty solidly as well. Like, I mean,
I mentioned that in the first live stream we did, like the pressure you feel as creative with all this time to do what you want to do. And you're like, nah.
That's the problem with it, isn't it? You can't schedule creativity, so it happens around your normal life. But when you feel like you have all the time in the world that you should be doing it, it just doesn't happen.
No.
And that it's a weird thing to deal with, but video games help.
Yeah.
They help
I was looking into this sort of like course thing and about personal development, and one of the things it was saying was, right, you've only got 6 months to live. You're healthy for the next 6 months, but you're going to die after 6 months. Like, what would you do with your time? I think the point is, like, do what makes you happy, and then you'll have an idea of what you actually want to do with the rest of your life. But my thought was, fuck it. If I've got 6 months, it's like I'm just going to drink and do drugs and play computer games.
Yeah, for sure. Right. I'd be straight on the heroin. Why not?
I like spend a week like speaking to all my friends and family and telling them how much I love them, and then just get fucked for 6 months. Like,
yeah.
I was FaceTiming some friends yesterday, and we were all talking about similar experiences of, like most people being furloughed and getting paid and stuff. And my friend was like, I thought one day, is this how lottery winners feel? Is this like what lottery winners do? And I was like, yeah, but I think they can go and do stuff, or they could. Because they were like, if it is, I don't want to win the lottery. I was like, I'm not sure it is.
Well, you could probably just buy bouncy castles and stuff, wouldn't you, with all that lottery money?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd go full Billy Madison. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. Full Richie Rich.
Yeah, full Richie Rich. Yeah, definitely. Go-kart track in your garden.
McDonald's in the house. Yeah.
A full McDonald's franchise.
So David, are you saying you have not been struck by with any creativity since this happened?
Not. I mean, I do. I'm like a product photographer by trade. That's what I do as my job. So I've been dabbling on going for the daily walk, just doing photographs of whatever, when you walk. We set up me and my girlfriend set up like a little studio setup and did some product photography of like mock cocktails and little tiny bottles of sake that I've got lying around, and just for the crack. But I mean,
thought you were going to say glamour shots then. I
thought that was going somewhere else as well. Yeah.
Oh, really?
My girlfriend set up product photography, and then the first word you said was cock. I was like,
no, we didn't really go there. But now you mention it,
It's an idea. You've got a lot
It's
of
an
time.
idea. You might have sparked some creativity in me. Who knows?
Spark.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I've sat down and just jammed on guitar and accidentally like wrote the instrumental part to a song here or there, but I've not since come back to finish it or anything. You know, it's kind of been like little bits here and there, and I'm like, oh yeah, FIFA Online for 5 hours.
Oh, it's dark outside all of a sudden.
Yeah, wow, I'm hungry. And then let's cook dinner. Yeah, that's. I mean, I did get a little creative with cooking yesterday. I started looking into cooking this dim sum dish that I had a lot when I was a kid and growing up and stuff. It's like rolled rice noodles, and it's like you bake you steam a big massive rice noodle like this, and then you roll it up. So it's like a rice noodle pancake in a way.
Oof, hello.
Garnished with some spring onion and soy sauce, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I mean, in terms of musical creativity, it is. I mean, I've been at home solidly for about 5.5 weeks, man. I've not done anything really.
No.
Have you been drinking more or less?
Not really. Like you, I'm like trying to stick it to the weekends. Really, we've got me and the girlfriend have got like a pub quiz we do with friends on a Friday night, and we all take turns in writing a quiz basically. So that's when I'll have a beer or 10, you know.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
I mean, special occasions like this. I mean, I'm having a couple tonight, but you know, other than that, you know, it's been pretty dry.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Heineken in a Kronenberg glass.
Ooh,
just to throw it off. Yeah.
Just to throw everyone off.
Did you see? I always find when people have Kronenberg glasses or mainly any kind of beer brand glasses, did you buy that or did you take it from an establishment?
It may have somehow made its way into the van on tour.
Perfect.
At some point, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
I may or not have done it willingly or consciously. I'm not sure. It was hard to tell back then.
I always like when you go to a friend's house and they have that one random Guinness glass or Kronenberg glass, and you think, I'm with you, brother. I've done the exact same thing. I might have rolled up a nice Guinness jug in a suitcase when I stayed in a hotel. I might not have, but I might have.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have happened. I cannot confirm. It could have.
No judgment, brother.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You might be guilty.
Might be. I think we all know who you are and what music you've done and what bands you've been in, but some people listening might not know. So
yeah, of course.
I mean, Acoda is probably. I mean, that took up a significant part of your musical career so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We started Acoda in 2009, I believe. It might have been late 2008, but it really kicked off 2009. So I guess, yeah, that's like 11 years ago.
Yeah. And you're still doing stuff now, aren't you? Well, not right now, but
I mean, here and there. Actually, when we recorded our latest single about a year ago or so, we got Jay to do like drums for like a fast heavy song, but we didn't have any guitars or anything, so we gave him a basic structure and we were just like, just go for it, man. So he's been sat on that for a while. He just sent me the link to it so I can write some guitars to it today. So maybe that might be a spark. Yeah, we might
pause, you know, FIFA. Pause, FIFA.
Yeah. It's hard. It's an addiction.
I can attest to that.
Yes. So we might be doing some new stuff. Who knows? It is the perfect time, really, because we're all doing nothing. We've all got the means to record stuff and send it to each other. So yeah, it's just about being organized, which we never were. We were always a bit. The only thing that kept us organized was that we all lived very close by. Now we're all around the place. It's a bit different, but yeah,
Cool.
hopefully.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Well, this time flies. It's nearly 22. Would we be okay to have a song, Damon?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't want it to sound like we put a gun to your head.
I know.
Yes.
No, I mean that is why I'm here, right?
Play a fucking song.
That's why I always ask, because I feel like I'm saying, right, play now.
Yeah.
Play now.
Is it all right if you do what we came? If you do what we asked you to do, like what you've been, waiting 3 days for? Is that all right?
I suppose so.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, cool. Well, whenever you're ready, Damon, take it away.
Yeah. Admittedly, I have not rehearsed very much for this.
Making excuses already. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out
see
there.
what other excuses are in the chat. Come on,
Disclaimer.
But it will sound great.
I ran through it once earlier this afternoon.
Cool.
So here he goes.
Was that during a FIFA P break?
Yes. I was on my way back and I thought, actually, should probably do some.
Okay. Best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the other side.
Yes. Hopefully this goes all right. I'm going to check him in tune. So speaking of Acoda, I'm going to play an Acoda song first. It was 2 songs, right? So I'll do one of Acoda. Starting with, this song is called "Won't Go Running." I'll be there when the hits start coming, hits start coming again. I'll be there when the hits start coming. So I box myself right up again. Man, I need some rest. I'm done with jumping through the hoops. I passed your so-called test. 'Cause even though it's rough, I'll be there when the hits start coming, the hits start coming, the hits start coming again. I'll be there when the hits start coming. I won't go running, I won't go running again. Today I found the guts to prove what I thought all along. I'll scratch your back, you stab mine, yet I still toe the line. Even though it's rough, I'll be there when the hits start coming, the hits start coming, hits start coming again. I'll be there when the hits start coming. I won't go running, I won't go running again.
I'll scratch your back, you stab mine. I'll scratch your back, you stab mine. Even though it's rough, I hope you'll be there when the hits start coming. The hits start coming, hits start coming again. You'll be there when the hits start coming. You won't go running again. You'll be there when the hits start coming. Hits start coming, hits start coming again. You'll be there when the hits start coming. You won't go running again. You won't go running again. You won't go running again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Nice one, man. That was
Claps in the
awesome.
chat.
Cool, sweet.
Clap
Thank you.
emojis in the chat, please. Clap
Clap
emojis.
emojis in the chat. Very good, mate. Really, really good.
Oh, look where Damon is now. He's in the middle.
Oh, it's all confusing.
Oh,
I
the
ran
orders
and I ran and got something while Damon played.
Oh, look at that.
So that
Cracking.
a lot of gel went into that masterpiece, and you can see I didn't have my tie done up all the way. But yeah, pretty bad. So yeah, that man or this boy was accused of being a pervert in school uniform, trying to lure kids away. So,
It was like a premonition, wasn't it?
I
Makes
think
sense.
so.
Makes sense.
So. Yeah, brutal or what, you know? Actually, I had a thought while Damon was playing. I meant to ask Steve as well. So with everyone being furloughed, like I've been showing off my baking skills each week. Admittedly, I haven't done anything this week. One thing I want to check with you, Steve, because I attempted to make this and it was so bad. This whipped coffee everyone's been making. Have people been asking you how to do that?
No, thank fuck. No. No, I've seen a lot about it. Yeah, and this, that's a thing, isn't it? But you have to. You put about 17 spoons of instant coffee in it? So
it's you do 2 tablespoons of instant coffee.
That's the one.
2 tablespoons of sugar. Bear in mind, I don't have sugar in anything, like hot drinks. And then you whisk it, and I kid you not, you have to whisk it for about 25 minutes, if that, and it's just not worth it. I made it, and it looked great, and I was like, oh wow, and I took one sip and went and like threw it away. It was disgusting.
It definitely looks better in a picture than it is to consume, I think. Yeah, because then you whip it until it looks like a dog turd, and then you put some foamy milk on, and that's the one. It's bad for you. That caffeine poisoning is horrible. I'll keep doing it to myself. I've never learned. Yeah, avoid it. Avoid it. It's bad for you. Tastes bad. Yeah. No bueno.
There you have it, kids. Don't do that.
Yeah. I figured you would have been getting a lot of messages about it, just being like, Steve, how would I do this?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's the best coffee for that dog turdy coffee that I keep seeing on the thing? Yeah, no.
God, have you been getting a lot of questions about how to make stuff at home? Because admittedly, I wussed out and I've got a cafetiere, so I'm not on the level of probably a lot of your customers, I imagine.
That's the way to just keep it simple is the way to do it. Just get yourself a cafetiere and a kettle. That's all you need. Grinder's a good thing. But in terms, I've been dishing out advice as and when it's needed. But the thing is, a lot of the time, it literally has been like I've just been flat out for 8 hours, and then I get home and then I look at my emails and I'm like, oh, yeah, well, grind it a bit, fine. That's been the size of it. Largely.
You just say, just fucking drink tea, you cunt.
No, it's not like that at all. No, not remotely.
Can you
I've only got so much energy.
Can you share with us the most stupid question you've been asked?
Oh, probably not. They might see it. I do get asked can you grind it for instant? That one comes up. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
No, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. Yeah,
Grind it for instant.
yeah, and have you got that one when you just what else do they ask? Are there any? Yeah, also you can imagine it if you've ever done anything sort of in retail, customer facing, you know what you're up against. Largely, although we do say this in the shop, we do very well in terms of the ratio of difficult customers, shall we say, to the nice ones. I think you set your stall out, don't you? You attract your crowd, and 99.9% of ours are absolutely no problem whatsoever. Yeah, so if you don't ask stupid questions, you stay stupid, don't you? So
That's
it's
very
worth,
true.
Good way of looking at it.
Yeah, good. Jeez Louise.
I can't be drawn into anything that's
just keep it in the private chat. It'll be fine.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, all of that. I've been looking for who's got some good albums for me. Then new stuff. Damon, I'd listened to Damon's stuff earlier on Tidal that was on there. I was enjoying that.
Cool.
That was excellent. I've not been able to get. I came up with listening to Bill Callahan, if you know him, who is he came about from listening to Bonnie Prince Billy and his mate. Just kind of Americana, miserablist, dreary old stuff. It's a bundle of laughs from start to finish. But anyway, so I'll listen to that from start to finish every day, and I need some new stuff. Purple Mountain has been today's discovery via Bandcamp. Who's got something good for me?
I found basically normally Instagram. It really bugs me with their adverts. I think I was talking about it last week. The beard. Was I talking about that? The beard growth thing. Did I mention that last week?
No,
maybe I didn't.
I might have zoned
really
out when you were talking about it.
Basically, Instagram adverts. It sounds about right, mate. Instagram adverts are just the worst, I find. But a band got recommended to me in my adverts, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I listened to them. And then since then, all my adverts have been up and coming bands or bands with like no following who pay for adverts, and they've been pretty good. But I found one, and they have one really good song, and they're called Chocolate Mountain, but it's chocolate and then MT. The song is called Bliss, so that is my recommendation.
Let's buy Chocolate Mountain. Right, we'll get that on.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
I'll get one in just quickly. There's a newish band called Disc, but it's spelled DISQ. That's really cool. Very like lo-fi, kind of pavement-y indie. That's a good shout. Give that a go. If you're a fan of Pavement, it'll probably be right up your street. If you're not, probably not.
I find all roads lead to Pavement when I'm streaming stuff. Whatever, if I just leave it running, eventually it'll finish up on Pavement. It's
it's a good destination to find.
It's all right, isn't it? Yeah, we can make that.
Josh,
what about you, Damon? You got anything? Sorry, Josh, you go first.
Yeah, you go first, man.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to disappoint you. I'm not really the only music I've been listening to is real like pump up drum and bass sets from the early 2000s. So I can't even tell you the tracks that are on it. I can't even tell you the songs because they're mixed.
Is it the sort where it has a live MC?
Some of them, yeah. It's proper like Corrupt FM drum and bass stuff.
Nice.
I've been listening to it.
My finger is hovering over the ban from studio button.
Hey, variety is the spice of life. I've been listening to him when I'm running, so like I've tried other music, but I just want some aggro fast music. I did actually just try and look on my iTunes to see what I've been listening to because I couldn't think of any bands. But I cancelled my subscription and it ended today, so I can't even see that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Timing.
Times are hard.
What about you, Damon?
Sorry, Damon. Go on.
I've not found many new artists recently, to be honest. I've been listening to a lot of a guy called Andy Schorf, if you guys know of him. No? It's a Canadian like folk-y singer-songwriter guy. He's one of those see you next Tuesdays that plays all the instruments. You know them.
Clever.
Yeah.
Like
But
Jake.
he's really good. Yeah, like him. Yeah. He's really good. He put out a new album called The Neon Skyline early this year, I think. I was actually supposed to go see him up in Leeds the week we got put into lockdown. So I think I've been making up for missing him by just absolutely rinsing the album over and over again.
Oh, you
it's-
know
it's
what?
like a-
Actually, just
Yeah.
what I remembered. Sorry. The band Big Thief.
Yeah.
I literally was like, oh yeah, they might be right up my street. And the only reason I would listen to them was because you shared an Insta story of you watching them live,
Yes.
and I was like, they are sick. I knew they would be.
Yeah,
So,
they're
yeah. So I
sick,
went
man.
and listened
They're
to that
so
record
good.
straight afterwards. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, they're really good, man. They put out 2 albums in the last year, maybe. I think. Big Thief.
Yeah.
I saw them at Rock City. Blown away. They're like one of those bands that you see live and you're like, this could be the studio recording. It's just that good. It's always nice to see a band that's studio quality live, sure. But yeah, they're another band. It's basically been between those two I've been bouncing.
Sweet.
So yeah, nothing new, but they're 2 good bands or artists.
Nice, like it.
Yeah.
Like it a lot.
That'll do. Can we have another song, please, David?
Oh really?
I just feel like a twat however I say it.
Yeah.
I quite
Is
liked
that-
the
is that
introduction
all right?
before. That,
Get on with it
I'm
and
not having
play
a
the
good day
song.
today. I think the key ingredient that's making me more stuttery and nervous is that I'm not drinking alcohol.
Well,
yeah, that is a problem.
If you see
Yeah.
me wincing, I crack my second beer open. I'm very sorry, Wild Weather. I'm sure you're nice people. This is one of the worst drinks I've ever drank in my life. And you
Does it
keep,
taste
you
like
keep
burgers?
seeing me going like that. It's not very nice at all.
Does it taste like burgers, Andy?
I think it might have burger in it, and maybe that's what. There's me being like, well, cool artwork, but I think it's just got a mushed up pound of burger in here.
Wow. Is it vegan friendly?
God, for a second, I saw ingredients, and my brain quickly read malt, but scanned it as meat, and I literally went, yeah, it does, but no, it doesn't look like it. I'll tell you what, play a song, and I'll have a look and see if it's vegan friendly.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Cool. The stage is yours, Damon.
Thank you. Oh, we've had a comment from Timber Club saying The Magician is the tune by Andy Schorf. I can confirm that is a tune. Big tune. That is from his second last album called The Party. I recommend you listen to that as well. So yeah, this next song I'm going to play is the title track of my solo EP, Dreaming of Yesterday.
Last year was such a haze. I was dreaming away, dreaming of yesterday. Tomorrow's looking brighter. If embers stoke a fire, the weight is fueling my desire. And although these days my head is in disarray, no, I won't be dreaming of yesterday. 'Cause if I am the one who chose to walk away, why would I be dreaming of yesterday? So from now on, I'll make sure to make way for the new wave, racing for brighter days. And yet sometimes I wanna be there. Rewind, taste the air. No, I'll never be prepared. 'Cause although these days my head is in disarray, no, I won't be dreaming of yesterday. 'Cause if I am the one who chose to walk away, why would I be dreaming of yesterday? So though these days my head is in disarray, no, I won't be dreaming of yesterday. 'Cause if I am the one who chose to walk away, why would I be dreaming of yesterday? Why would I be dreaming of yesterday? Why am I still dreaming of yesterday?
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Claps in the chat.
Claps in the chat. Love that track. It's a really good one.
Absolutely excellent song.
Yeah,
so
so
good,
happy
mate.
you played that. I absolutely
Yeah.
adore it.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, tune, mate. Absolute tune. We got a good question sent in. Actually, I put it in the chat if anyone's got any questions for our guests to maybe wing them over to us now. But good question. What is the Deer Hunter of albums? So yeah, to kind of link up with what we were talking about earlier, which was like the Deer Hunter is like a really intense song. What's the Deer Hunter of albums? So for me, it's Bon Iver for Emma, because I was introduced to that album when I went through a really bad breakup. And I remember in uni, my housemate walked in and it was 1 a.m. and I was sat in the dark in the living room just listening to the album. And he was like, "Are you okay, man?" I was like, "I don't know." So for me, it's Bon Iver for Emma. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that one. I loved the album. I think it's really, really good. But then I can't remember what happened at the time, whether it was a breakup or a death or I don't know what it was. But it just started to become associated with not being happy and being upset. So every time I listen to it now, it just like makes me well up. So it's like, well, I can't listen to that anymore. I'm a bit of a softie.
Is that, for Emma's the one before the album with the massive sax song at the end?
Yeah, for Emma's like the one he was in the woods when he was depressed
yeah.
and recorded on his own. Yeah.
He recorded it in the cabin, didn't he? Apparently.
Yeah,
that
supposedly, yeah. So great album, but yeah.
I'm surprised he made it out, the fucking music that came out of that cabin.
If you'd have seen him calling on your mobile around that time, would have been like, I'm probably not going to answer Justin. Yeah. Steve, do you have a Deer Hunter album or the equivalent?
The one that springs to mind is by Malcolm Middleton, who's he's the musician half of Arab Strap, who's got a solo album, and there's one called A Brighter Beat, and it absolutely revels in its misery, and it's but it's peculiarly upbeat at the same time. It's brilliant. I love it. It's one of my favourites. Yeah, and sometimes it feels the same way as it makes you feel after watching The Deer Hunter. Yeah, I'd say. Okay, that'll do. Thank you. I've got that out of my system now. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Move on. But recommend it. Malcolm Middleton. Have a listen to some of that.
I was a big fan of Arab Strap, but I haven't listened to any of Malcolm Middleton for that very reason.
Yeah,
because you have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah, you do, but it is surprisingly musical. Well, you see, I reckon because this is the first time Nick and I have really spoken, I think. But I know that since about probably 1998, I've seen Nick's face at pretty much every gig I've ever been to, I think. You used to work at the Soundhouse, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I'm sure I've seen you at other venues and all of that, and I'm like, oh, that's that bloke.
That's that handsome fella around town.
I'm down the other end of the A45 in Wellingborough, and I've got kids, so I don't get to come out and drink in pubs in Northampton. So when I've seen you in the Lamp as well, DJing and all of that. That bloke again. So
no, we finally met on the internet.
There you go. There we are. We've had an internet hookup. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to happen tonight.
It's the end of social with bringing people together.
Well, I've been admiring you from afar for all
that was
these
the
years.
whole point of this show, bringing people together. So yeah, we've achieved it now. We've done it. Damon, have you got a Deer Hunter album?
I'm struggling with this one, mainly because I like sad music. So anything that makes me feel sad, I'm like, yeah, that's sick. That's wicked. So I never go back to it, and I'm like, and this is too sad. I'm like partying and that, like, so I don't really know. I mean, I'd maybe say, Little Hell by City and Colour.
Very nice. Yeah, that's
yeah. But I love it so much that when I put it on, I can't turn it off. So it's like along those lines, but also the opposite.
Okay, I like that. It's good answer. We have another question that's just popped in, and I wanted to ask about this myself, so I'm glad that someone has actually done it and reminded me. So this is for you specifically, Steve. It's from our good friend Chris Serbin. Shout out, Chris. It says, late to the party, got a question for Steve. I remember seeing a post from your Instagram about Elton John, as in the official Elton John, following Yellow Bourbon. What's the deal with that? He says, have I made that up? You didn't make it up, because I was going to ask you the exact same question. Yeah, now, I'm glad you asked, because, this is tricky, this one. So, I sat there on the sofa one evening, and my phone lit up, and I look at that, and then I just sort of glanced at it, and it said, Elton John started following you. And I was like, what? So I had a look at it, and it was the actual Elton John account with the blue star and all the rest of it. I was over the moon, frankly. I was like, singing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and all of that carry on, and it was it was incredible. And so I shared the shit out of it. Look, everybody, look, Elton John's caught onto us and all that. And I looked through who he follows. So there's like Beyonce, Madonna, David Beckham, Prince Harry, Yellow Bourbon, Coffee Roasters. It only follows about 150 people. Why has he got on to us for? So I started checking, and then all of a sudden I got blocked. I thought, okay, right, what's going on here? And then I hope this doesn't get out, because somebody could get in right trouble for this. So what happened was, I've got a bit of a customer base in London, based through this fixed gear cycling forum thing that I've been a big part of and all of that. And there's some people on there that have got fancy jobs and all the rest of it. I get this panic message from this bloke. Hello, I'm Elton John's social media manager. I was looking you up because I wanted to buy some coffee, and I've left myself logged into his account. I was like, oh, fucking hell. So could you take it all down for me? And I was like, no, he was like, I could literally lose my job over this. It's still fairly recent. So
Fucking hell, that's
Hopefully,
amazing.
yeah. Was there 20 people watching now? I'm sure he'll be fine. If anybody who's watching has any connection to Elton John, don't tell him. There you go.
That's amazing.
Yes.
David Furnish, if you're in the chat, just say. And so it was an honest mistake by this bloke. And and then he put a big order for coffee in to say thanks. So, but
Yeah.
it was all right. So I had to take all that down, and then I couldn't offer any explanation why. And then I felt a bit shady about the whole thing after all that. And I thought, it's not that cool to get all excited about celebrity things and all of that anyway. I ought to be a bit more discreet about it. But it's fucking
It was
Elton
Elton
John.
John.
Yeah.
It was Elton John. Like, I've been stoked on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking so good. Talking about meeting famous people, Andy.
Yes.
Just quickly, when you met Will from Hell is for Heroes, just wanted to have a little laugh
Nick,
about that.
Why have you got to do that to me? Why have you got to
It
do
was
me
good.
dirty like that?
It was really, really funny. It was like an
So-
old Italian woman meeting the Pope.
Yeah, so there's a band called Hell's for Heroes, if anyone out there's heard of them. I happen to be a massive fan of them. Their first album is one of my favourite albums of all time. And me and
Rightly
Nick
so.
and Josh was there. Josh went to the gig as well. They did a reunion and they did the album in full. But before that happened, maybe a few months before, me and Nick played a gig, Future Love. We supported Don Broco, who... Simon from Broco is a big fan of yours, Steve, and comes to Yellow Bourbon. He says he's coming to visit me, but really he just wants to come to Yellow Bourbon. Coffee.
Yeah, we've been drinking coffee.
So we were very lucky that Simon put us on a few shows. Anyway, one of them was in London, and Nick says to me, "Oh, my friend Matt's coming, and he might be coming with Will." And I was like, "Hell is for Heroes, Will?" And he's like, "Yes." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try and be cool or whatever, you know." So we play the gig; it's really good, and blah blah blah.
And
Anyway,
you weren't
after-
cool, were you, Andy? You
I
weren't
was
cool.
anything but cool. So don't worry, Steve, you loving or going crazy about it. Because I met a minor person. And basically, I'm walking around and Nick says, "Oh, Andy, come over here. This is Will." And I like to think I walked over and, "Good to meet you, mate." But what actually happened was I went up to him and said, oh my God, man, I've just got to say that Hell is for Heroes is one of my favourite bands. And you don't know what, and I just was like this. And then Nick was sort of stood next to me going, and anyway, he couldn't have been lovelier to me and was really nice. And he walked away and stuff. I was like shaking afterwards. And Nick said it was like a small Italian woman had met the Pope. So he likes to remind me about that one quite a lot.
It was fucking beautiful.
It was great, yeah. Because Nick says most of the time I'm pretty chilled, but this one moment I let my true face.
And it's a neat segue into the next
That is a
question,
good one.
Andy. So
Good
go for it.
segue. So we ask our guests every week, Stephen and Damon, if you've seen, we like to ask about who is the most famous person you've seen in Northampton. Damon, for you, that can include Corby because that's Northamptonshire. So for you, Steve, I imagine you get a lot of people coming in and out of Yellow Bourbon. So who's the most famous person you've seen in Northampton?
Well, if they're famous, I mean, they'll come to visit, obviously. We have some of the saints in James Haskell since going on I'm a Celebrity, I reckon. Yeah. But my favourite one is an actress called Ola Smart, who was in a production of The Lovely Bones at the Royal, and they were actually producing the whole thing from start to finish. And she's been in a few things on TV since, and she popped up on Killing Eve the other night, which is one of my favourite shows, and she's great. So that was a nice one. Yeah,
Nice.
I reckon.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I mean,
That was
we've
a
had
good
some
one.
really C-list ones that make us laugh. And I had completely forgotten, and now I've just remembered. So I better get that out of my head. Claire Sweeney. Saw her in the Boston Clipper. That was a night to remember.
Was she singing or was she just in there?
She must have been doing something at the Derngate at the time.
Okay.
And she was having a very fun time, and she was with alcohol at the time.
Nice.
She was with it.
Very nice. Thank
She
you,
definitely
Claire.
had a Chardonnay or two.
Damon, who is the most famous person you've seen in Northampton or Northamptonshire for yourself?
I think this one's maybe more infamous than famous.
Ooh.
I saw the McCanns.
Oh.
In the Beefeater in Corby. I went.
Beefeater.
Yeah, can you believe it?
That is the best one yet.
Yeah, this was surreal. We were out for my mum's birthday. We were all having a meal, and I looked over to my right, and they were all there. Obviously, minus.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah. Obviously, minus the famous one. Yeah, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what are they doing in Corby? But apparently, they live locally in a village somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not
Yeah.
expect that.
Brilliant.
Did the waiter go, is it table for 6? Oh, sorry, 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
and the
I
cans
don't
in
know.
a Beefeater.
Yeah,
I think
that was surreal.
The Beefeater bit's what really killed
Yeah.
me.
Just garlic
So
bread and
not
onion
only
rings.
did Damon get the restaurant, like the famous person, but also just a random, like, kind of middle of the road restaurant as well.
Yeah,
So
because where you saw them counts as well.
Oh yeah, it
God.
adds.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Have we
that's
got
the
any
best
new
one.
ones? Any new ones in the chat, guys? Anyone that hasn't said
Yeah,
who they've seen in
people in the
Northampton?
chat. We got any new famous people? We've got some new people watching tonight, so let's have some let's have some famous people you've seen in Northampton and where you've seen them in Northampton as well, please. Oh, thank you, Damon. That's a really good one, mate. That is
I actually had
No
I had a
worries.
tear. I had a tear.
yeah, because that's like one of those old classics. You know how, like, everyone in your town, some infamous person has moved there. Like, the amount of times I've heard Gary Glitter lives in Northampton. He obviously doesn't, but you always hear, I saw him. Where did you see him? I saw him walking down Giles Street. No.
Should we move on to everything else seems pointless now, doesn't it, really?
Gary Glitter goes quiet. Yeah.
Should we move on to streaming recommendations, so stuff to watch, and then we'll come back to anything that comes up in the chats there. I'll start. I've been rewatching The Sopranos.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
very nice.
Sick idea.
I
forgot
rewatched it maybe a year
great it
ago.
was. Yeah,
and it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, very
What were
good.
your-
So
what were your
anyone that
thoughts?
hasn't, yeah, I loved it. I watched it for the first time only a couple of years ago, to be honest. I completely missed it, but now, I mean, I've basically forgotten everything that happens in it. So just watching it through again, which is brilliant. And there's plenty of episodes, and absolutely love it. Andy, what have you been watching?
I watched a new program this week, which was advertised quite heavily on Sky, called Gangs of London. So it's all up there and it's all ready to rock. So my review of it is it's really cool in places. It's also very stupid in places and a bit like over the top, but I think that's what they're going for. But if you're a fan of, if anyone has seen the Raid films, which are I think they're set in Bangkok in Thailand, martial arts kind of films. It's by the same director who's a Welsh guy. He wrote this new series and he directed a couple episodes. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is like The Raid. And then I was like, oh, it's because it's by the guy who did The Raid. So the action in it is top notch, but you have to suspend a bit of disbelief for some of it, I think, if you want to get into it. And then my other recommendation is Afterlife Season 2 has just dropped on Netflix. I hadn't watched it at all until last week when I smashed Season 1 in a day and then Season 2. So that's Ricky Gervais's thing about a man whose wife has died of cancer and him kind of... It sounds very depressing, and it is in parts, but it's also very uplifting as well. And he contemplates killing himself, and he's very miserable, and he kind of learns to kind of, I suppose, channel that energy in a different way. So, yeah, they're my two for this week, definitely. Steve, what have you got for us, recommendation-wise, aside from the Deer Hunter?
I've not got a lot in our house. If it's not Cash in the Attic or Salvage Hunters, there's Gino, Fred, and the other one. There's not a lot on. I've got a YouTube recommendation for you. Colin Furze. Have a look at him. Who's a bloke who makes silly stuff in his shed. I can recommend the spinning belt of knives and the bicycle built of springs as a go-to for that one. So yeah, Colin Firth on YouTube. He only lives in Stamford. He's only down the road. He's just hit 10 million subscribers. He's have a look at that. Yeah, I've got nothing on the brow for you. I'm sorry.
Very nice.
Sweet, that'll do.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Colin Firth's stuff. Yeah, really, really good. Just someone having a fucking laugh, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah. Nick?
Well, yeah, I'm still doing It's Always Sunny. Still working my way through that. So, we're on episode 5 now, and I'm still watching it from episode 1. Other than that, I watched the new Chris D'Elia stand-up, which is brilliant. Listen to his podcast every week, which is great, really fun. And then probably, I watched something last night called The Dark Side of the Ring, which is Vice TV, about it's about wrestling, like old school wrestling, basically, and like
cool.
and bad stuff that's happened to famous wrestlers. Like this bit about Chris Benoit, who went completely mental and murdered his wife and son, and then committed suicide. And he was like the top level wrestler at the time as well. And it's a tragic story, but very interesting documentary. And there's like 15 episodes all on YouTube or Channel 4. It's really, really good.
Cool. Awesome. That's fun. Damon, what have you got recommendation-wise? What have you been checking out while you've been furloughed?
A friend recently shared their Disney Plus login details, so watched all of the Mandalorian.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to do that.
Oh yeah. For Star Wars fans, that is top notch. It is really, really good. Other than that, Netflix been rewatching Peep Show. Classic.
Yeah, sweet.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute classic.
Always good.
What else? Trying to think of what. I mean, we were watching Vikings on Amazon Prime because I'd never seen it before. Really enjoyed it until it got a bit too gory for the other half. So I've not been able to get back into it solo yet. So, but I was hooked until it was made into a solo mission, and then I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to find the time. So
My mother's a big fan of that program, but the amount of times I'd say, "How was it?" and she would go, "Really good," but you would not believe what those Vikings do to each other. You know, it would always be like some horrific scene she'd have to describe to me, and I was like, "Whoa!" So I have not watched that, but yeah, I hear it's pretty out there for torture, I suppose.
it's just straight in with the war and the blood and the guts. I love it. It's wicked.
Anything depressing, anything violent, and it's down your street.
Yeah, that's me. To a T.
Just while I remember, a couple of things that I've been watching on YouTube. I'm trying to be a better cook, so I've been watching a lot of Brad Leone and Nat's What I Reckon on YouTube. Two, just like easygoing, probably around our age sort of thing, kind of people like us, I suppose, but really funny cooking stuff. So I'm learning a lot of stuff, and it tastes really good.
There's a dog. There's a dog on the live stream.
That's our first
dog.
I've
been wondering where I am. There's, I think a lot of the customers are going to have been wondering where our Patch is doing. He's still alive. He's
There he is.
He's got to be 18 soon. He's so yeah, just to prove that he's still here. Oh, we'll have him stuffed and mounted though when he's finished. We'll stick like so he does the tremble.
Maybe made into like a hand puppet of some sort.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but he's still going. Though. He's enjoying these final few weeks of retirement.
Good.
Oh, Pat, honestly, things people say about you.
So good to see him.
First dog on the stream. That's great.
Yeah.
We've hit it. We've hit the milestone.
Yeah, we need more dogs.
Cool. Okay. Is there anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Just to say, anyone who's watching us, thank you very much. And if you could tag us and let us know how you're watching us and share it on Instagram so we can have a look and see how people are checking us out. I've had a few friends send me some TV shots, so I'll see if I can share those later. But anyone who's watching,
should we do a Vogue for people to take?
Oh
pictures?
yeah. So now we're going to pose, and people take your screenshots of us now, please. Okay. So everyone, if you could pose, all the guests, please. Look at that sweat patch. Whoa.
Oh,
Get that
mate,
sweat patch in
you've
there.
been working hard tonight.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I'll get that.
Oh,
Make
we
sure you
still-
get that
Cracker.
in there.
5, 4,
Beautiful.
3, 2,
Oh,
1.
fuck it.
Oh,
Well,
Well,
fuck it then.
okay,
there you
that's
go.
enough.
Oh, this
Down
is
to the end,
ridiculous.
Aren't they?
This is
Go down.
ridiculous.
Down to the end.
Okay. So just before we go, obviously I'm a massive fan of both of you guys, Damon and Steve. Your music, your coffee, you as people. So thank you very much for coming on. It's been better than expected, and I thought I knew it was going to be ace anyway. So
That's
Yeah,
good.
we were a bit it was touch and go. For
well,
a
it's
while.
not you two I'm worried about. It's the
I'll
other
thrive
two.
on faint praise. I'll do.
But yeah, before we go, Steve, anything you want to plug or shout out to the people who are watching?
Thank you all the ones that have continued to carry on buying coffee and carry on buying more of it. Good on you. Nice one. Thank you very much. And thank you all for having me. It's been fun. Nice. This is the closest thing I've had to a social encounter in some time. It's all right, actually, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah,
so
we don't
glad to have
bite.
finally met you, even if it's via the internet.
Yeah. I'm normally shouting, yeah, no, I'm Foster's.
Damon, anything you want to plug? Where can we get your people out there get your solo record?
Everywhere, as far as I'm aware. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, apparently. Courtesy.
Audio CD quality.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. But yeah, there you go. So as far as I'm aware, pretty much all streaming platforms. And thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a laugh. Had a couple of beers. Feeling good.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Cool.
We'll see you
Cheers.
next Wednesday, 8:00.
Cool.
See ya.
Wave,
Bye.
wave,
Bye.
wave,
Bye.
wave,
Bye.
wave.
Bye.
For an
Bye.
extended